Hi there, my name is Stephanie Dimino and I'm a physical therapist within the Spalding Rehabilitation Network. So now is the season to start some yard work. So here are 10 tips and tricks to help you get through your yard and to keep your body in good shape. Tip number 1, set a goal before you start. There's a lot to do in the yard. There's cutting the grass, trimming your bushes, maybe going around planting a new plant, bark mulch. So there's a lot to do. So take your yard and break it into sections. Something like raking can be much more manageable if you pick only a section to do each day. Tip number 2, alternate direction or the position of your hands. A lot of times we tend to be right or left hand dominant, so we tend to work in one direction. This allows us to use one side of our body a lot, and that can cause soreness or strain later on after our yard work. Simply changing hands as you go throughout a task or changing directions can be just enough to give your body a break. Tip number 3, change position. So a lot of times yard work revolves a lot of bending over. So by changing position, that allows you to put less strain on your back and your leg muscles and allows you to be able to work out in the yard for longer. Tip number 4, stay hydrated. One of the best things you can do is keep a water bottle out in the yard so you always have access to water. Drinking throughout the day as you're doing yard work can prevent muscle spasms later on. Tip number 5, the right setup. Whenever you're going to do a task, especially something that involves lifting, make sure that you have the right setup. When weight is far away from ourselves, it can cause undue strain on our back and legs. So setting up your lifting so that you're close to the object will make it so you can power through and use your legs, making the lifting task easier and you being able to do your project for much longer. Tip number 6, always bend with your hips and knees. Whenever doing a lift, try not to lock out your legs straight because then you'll use more of your back. By bending both your knees and your hips as you're picking something up will allow you to power through with your legs and be able to lift more weight safely. Number 7, take a rest break. A lot of times we get carried away in the yard, so a good thing to do is to set a timer on your phone or even make a playlist that goes on for a certain period of time. When the timer goes off or your playlist ends, don't forget to take a rest break so your body can actually recover. Tip number 8, elevate your work surface. With projects that are overhead, one of the best things you can do is use a ladder to raise yourself up so your shoulders can relax. Another way to do this is if you're doing stuff low to the ground like moving dirt, is to use something like a wheelbarrow that will raise your working surface so that you don't have to bend over as much. Tip number 9, limit your amount of bending. Whether it's getting rid of weeds in your yards or pruning a plant, what you can do is you can use just a 5-gallon bucket and flip it over and turn it into a seat. Now you've lowered yourself to the surface that you're working on, putting less strain on your back and less needing to bend. If you're weeding your yard, one of the other things you can do is just fold up a towel or buy one of those nice kneeling pads and use that to limit the amount of bending that you have to do. Tip number 10, take it easy. You just finished your yard and did a whole bunch of work, so it might not be the best time to go through the house and do some cleaning and clean out your garage. Allow your body some time to recover. Be happy with what you've been able to do and enjoy your time outdoors.